Jared, please come up and give your speech to be evaluated by Kathleen Whitten. Jared Pro Se.
Imagine being able to buy a brand new side-by-side. Your life savings just towards a down payment. You borrow the rest, and this brand new side-by-side ends up costing more than a new car. Now you go out for the first time, get in your side-by-side, you're with friends and family, sitting there, you're all pumped up, ready to go, but it's brand new. You can't scratch it, wreck it. So you go in the back, take your time, enjoying the scenery, watching everybody else have fun, because you don't want to wreck your baby. But you buy the most powerful side-by-side on the market. You have this itch just to go, give her, but you gotta go slow. You gotta take your time. No scratches, especially not on the first day. So you're going along, watching everybody else have a good time. You come up to this huge mud puddle. You get out, you're watching everybody, helping out. People are pulling their winches out, dragging across the mud, taking their time. Nobody wants to wreck anything. You get back in your chair, sit down, it's your turn. You have a decision to make. Do I be like everybody else, or do I become the black sheep? If you're anything like me, you go for hell with it. Black sheep all the way. So everybody's standing there, they're watching you. You get ready, you pull up nice and slow. You got this big grin on. And you punch it as fast as you can through this puddle. Imagine what they're thinking before I punched it. Oh, here comes Jared, he's gonna take his sweet time, we'll help him out. No, floor it as hard as I can, and all I see is people jumping, hiding behind anything they can, because there's flying mud and water everywhere. Oh, and this huge side-by-side going flying through the water, trying not to get hit by it. By the time I finally come to the end, I'm laughing hysterically. Funniest thing, watching people jumping out of the way, hiding behind trees. This is just one of my outdoor adventures. When I was a teenager, I loved downhill mountain biking. I bought a giant DH comp. $10,000 for this bike. Pedal bike. No engine in between your legs. $10,000 for a pedal bike. I was lucky enough to buy it used for $4 grand. I bought a season's pass to Fernie, BC, the ski hill, and I went out a lot. I was getting pretty good, hitting the big jumps, having a good time. A friend of ours came out, never been downhill biking. He rents a bike. He's getting good, really good. Too fast. He starts hitting jumps way too big, way too fast for only his first time. Near the end of the day, he was too confident. Hey Jared, can I borrow your bike? Sure, why not? Going down a mountain, you have a ramp, so you hit the ramp, you want to come up and land back on the other side and continue. Well, because you're already on a downhill and you want to hit this ramp, you hit it, come down. Well, he hit it, but was going way too fast, blew completely past the end where you want to land. He must have been at least 30 feet in the air. He lands, and he lands on his shoulder first. Dislocates his shoulder, completely pops it out. Only thing holding it was muscle and skin. When he was standing there, his arm was hanging way down. He was standing straight. It's one of the grossest things I've ever seen. But the best part of it all, my bike didn't get wrecked. For me, the worst thing that ever happened pedal biking was me and a friend were going down the hill. And it's starting to get pretty steep, and we're leaning back, and then it's really steep. Friend gets off his bike, walks his bike down. Just thinking to myself, oh, come on, it can't be that bad. I'll ride it. So I'm going down. I'm leaned way back. Seat's here. I'm as back as far as I can. And I'm going. I'm thinking to myself, you know, maybe he is the smart one. As I go flying over the handlebars. The bike goes end over end over end over end over end for what seemed like hundreds of feet. It never stopped. I just sat there watching my bike go boom, 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 boom. Finally stops. I go walk there, I pick it up. One of the most expensive crashes on a pedal bike I've ever done. I did learn my lesson. You know, next time maybe just walk it down. It was a very expensive lesson, but it's one I needed to learn. These are just a few of the adventures I've been able to do. I hope all of you guys can go outside and enjoy this amazing country we live in.
I'm not 100% sure what a side-by-side is, but I can only assume that there was a spot for you and there was just a little spot for me right next to you, and I felt like I was right in there with you. And the first big adventure that we went on in your speech was your vocal variation. You did a really good job with your volume in this particular speech. You had really good high volume, loud volume, and you also had really good low volume. Most of your low volume, we could still hear you. There was a couple of times where after you went really high, you went just a little bit too soft, and I almost thought I was gonna lose you, but I could still hear you because my hearing is real good. So be careful of that, but otherwise your loud volume was really excellent and really punchy, and that part made me feel like I was just going on bumps with you in that side part. The first really funny bump for me though in the ride, like maybe we were about to go on that turn, the crash, was when you started your second story. I thought that we were on the introduction, and suddenly we were on the second point of your body, and I realized I'm not sure that there was an introduction. And by the time you had concluded, I was like, there was no introduction, and I think you kind of skipped the conclusion. So what you had was 3 really, really excellent body stories that were really good, but what you left out was just your intro and conclusion. So even if they're just brief, let us know maybe that you're going to tell us 3 stories, and not all of them are going to be on the side-by-side, because suddenly we were on a bike, and I was like, is it a 2-person bike? Because I don't know how I'm going to get on there with you. So I was worried, but I feel like I was still there with you. And the other great part of the ride, Jared, was your physical commitment to your speech. You did that really, really well, and I could tell that you had really prepared. You really put your butt into it at times, and I was just right there beside you. You know, what you did was you really drew us in with your physical component. And for next time too, as far as your physical commitment to your speech, what threw me off just a little bit is you spent a long time on the chair in your first story, and it was over here. So maybe bring in your chair to the middle, and then as you move on, just quietly set the chair aside. You don't even have to stop talking, and you can move this chair aside. But otherwise, Jared, I absolutely loved your speech. Truly excellent. You took us on a ride with you through your vocal variation, your physical variation, and for next time, just be cautious of that bump of the intro and conclusion. Otherwise, I just hope you were wearing a helmet.
Jared, you are fun. I appreciate your sense of humor. You make me smile because I see some dryness that I can appreciate. I see you smiling inside. You have an adventurous life. And I appreciate how much you've shared about your rock star biking and your snowmobiling and all the things that you've done. I see you progressing and growing as you're working on your inflection and changing your tone of voice with the excitement of that going through the puddle. I also see some movement from you, which we talked about is a challenge for you. One of the things I would suggest, the chair's not, oh, you're not here, but when you're going to use a chair, get rid of the podium and bring it up so that we can all see you. You were kind of back over here on the side, and it hid you perhaps a bit on this side, and they didn't get to see your full movement. So bring it up here, own this whole space, you get this whole area. One of the things I also noticed is when you talk from your thoughts, your voice gets much quieter, and I had to really strain to hear you. So a suggestion on when you're talking from your thoughts, just move to a different place so that I know, oh, this is Jared from his thoughts. And so that, for example, and we raced through the thing, and then I thought, wait a minute, is that the right idea? So that I recognize you're in a different place and that that's from your thoughts, but you don't have to take your voice down where people are straining to hear what the thought is. I was unsure whether the speech was about the $10, $50 million side-by-side or the bikes. Or then maybe it was about adventure. And so I would suggest clarifying what's your point. What are you looking for? What do you want me to know at the end? Overall, I see huge growth, and I appreciate your efforts in doing that for us. I appreciate your trying to engage us on sports and the outdoors and being the one that drives through the puddle and doesn't care if they get scratched or not. Awesome work, awesome progress, and I think you just need to keep it up and keep progressing and keep building on the great strengths that you have. Thanks, Jared.